So, hello again. Keep calm and carry on the right strategy for an actuary in the face of AI and Mal. Let's go straight to the agenda, I would suppose. If we're going to do this, and it can only take a second. Yes, here we go. So first we have a definition of AI and Mal, and then we're going to see about some general use cases of AI before we dig deeper into AI and insurance with three specific scenarios. First is about customer interaction, the effects in health insurance and in motor insurance. And then at the end, we'll go a little bit deeper about the changing work environment, especially for actuaries, and what effects it's going to have and how you can handle with it. So my name, as I told before, Andreas Grigol. I'm a cloud and innovation enthusiast, customer-oriented advisor. I've been working 9 years for Microsoft until March this year. So working there as an industry strategy advisor for insurance. Since 2020, I joined the Systemorph group, working there as managing director for Germany. Systemorph itself, if you haven't heard of us, which can happen sometimes, we have developed an ultra speed self-develop platform for software development that you can use. It is revolutionary financial data management, what we are offering, and how you can transform data management and reporting, especially for insurers. That's all what we're going to do. So before we start, to open your mind a little bit to fun questions, a little bit to just get us into the idea floating process. First one is, what do you believe is the world record for holding your breath? So I mean really for humans, not for animals, but how long as a human you can hold your breath? Like, okay, I can do it 1 minute, so maybe it's 2, 3 minutes, 5 minutes would be really great. The answer is 25 minutes. So it's really without any technical supportive, just as long as you can stay underwater. 25 minutes. You would have never thought about it. And next question. This is also true. What are the expected AI revenues in 2025? Even though it's hard to estimate, but the range goes from 2, and it's really big. It's expected to be between 100 and 190 billion dollars. So it's going to be huge. It's going to be in every way of the economy, in every solution, in every customer interaction. So it's really big. So it's great that you take care of that topic and how you can handle it. I've explained the agenda before. So first, definition of AI and ML. So first, AI starts on the left. What is it? It provides digital experiences with human-like qualities. That's true. It recognizes its surrounding, and it can imitate cognitive functions. We have those three things together. We're talking about narrow AI. This is what we are currently experiencing, what the solutions offered by big software companies, small companies, startup. It's almost about special cognitive abilities like eyesight, natural language recognition, reasoning, stuff like this. So really strong, small individual pieces, in which they are really great, but still those single pieces. Strong AI, on the other hand, that's what you think of if you think about Star Wars, like R2-D2, and that would be strong AI. So it would be really combining the weak AI with some consciousness or a mind, like really human-like qualities. So we're still some years away from this. Don't know when there will be the breakthrough, but at the moment, it's just that we're talking about narrow AI when we're talking about AI at all. Machine learning, on the down left, you can see it's the difference, what it is. It learns from examples and data sets. It writes programs by himself using examples, and it classifies, recommends, forecasts, groups, segments. So this is really what you can use machine learning for. They're both used together a lot of times, but they're quite different things. First, maybe to understand machine learning even the different to normal programming a little bit better, I have developed this slide, which is if you want to teach a computer the difference or to recognize a cat from a dog, it's really, really hard if you want to do it by classical programming. Because, I mean, they both have a fur, they have a tail, they have two eyes, a nose, ears. They are different size, colors, so it's really, really hard to do it by classical programming where you would have to use data, then upon then build some rules to get some answers. So this is really where machine learning comes into play, where you show them lots of data, like pictures, for example, and you always tell them, this is a dog, this is a cat, and the machine tries to learn the reasoning for itself, and out of that build some rules. So I think this is a really good understanding what's the difference between classical programming and machine learning. In the next slide, I will talk of them more or less together. And I've taken that snapshot from the Azure portal from Microsoft, and where they have the different cognitive services they are offering, like computer vision, like translator, anomaly detector, and so on and so on. And as you can see here, I have marked it. They always use AI and machine learning because AI honestly is more or less an algorithm, and you need machine learning to build up on and to build it so you can use it together. So that's for the understanding just about the issue what we're talking about. So where is it gonna be used? And to understand that a little bit better, I have taken the report from the World Economic Forum, New Physics of Finance, that's 1 year old, but they had made a very broad survey of different companies across the world from financial leaders to understand what are the key impacts and what are the key findings first for AI in financial services. I think it's really great to take a look at them. So the first one, it's especially the IT will move from cost center to profit center. That is because you have modularized operation as service operations. So that means basically that you have to build out these capabilities special for your customers out of your own IT. So instead of being just a cost center providing basic IT service to the business units, it's going to be key to integrate them to build out those modularized operations. So there's going to be a huge change, how you look at IT, and of course, and how you set up your teams building those services for your customers, where of course IT knowledge, programming knowledge is a key fact that you always need within your teams. There was going to be a new battlefield for customer loyalty, and I do believe that is really true. So instead of price, speed, and access, which are currently the key drivers for how you measure customer access, it's really about customized services for the special customer in the situation that you have to care about and that you have to build services upon. Self-driving finance, of course, the interaction points, the touch points with the customer will be very much dominated by AI. Only in very dedicated scenarios there will be human-to-human interaction still required and still needed, especially if something is wrong or if he has difficult questions. But the rest will be really self-driving finance. Collective solutions for shared problems. So what is meant by this? This is really about fraud detection and money laundering. These are problems you have to tackle across companies in conjunction with big tech companies, with security companies, and with other organizations in the financial sector to really detect those fraud and money laundering activities, where you have to work together instead of currently just trying to find the fraud within your own boundaries of your company. That goes with the next point, uneasy data alliances. So you have to partnership with large tech companies, whether you want it or you don't, but I don't think you have any other possibility. And of course, the power of data regulators, which is a digital ID, will be required for everyone. Because if you are acting in a digital only environment for most time of the world, it's really important that you have to know which is the person behind that request. Is it really the person that is in the real world also? And of course, new ethical dilemmas, which is of course the old issue of safety versus ease of use versus cooperation with others. If you have to balance, really define the balance for yourself. What is the right way to serve the customer? How easy can it be, and how secure must it be, of course, to fulfill the requirements that you, the customer, and of course the regulators have to provide those services for him. If we go one step further and about the AI strategies for insurance, even in this report from the World Economic Forum, they have found 5 key strategies where you can use it. And I have put them together. So 2 are really about transforming customer interaction, and 3 are about transforming the operating model. And streamline operations to win on price, if we start by the left, is of course you have to use natural language processing, advanced decision trees to improve your underwriting efficiency, and of course make better use of capital efficiency, how you do it. Develop a different client experience. Of course, it's about the one-click point of contact where the customer registers is damaged for you, and of course then you have to automatically use image recognition or other fraud detection options to speed up claims processing, because in the best case there's at the point when he registers his damage, you have also the resolution for him and what you can offer for him. If we go into transforming operating model, you start with the improvement and the expand of distribution strategies. You have data, you use it. So you have new data sources to improve sales efficiency. It's really like which customer is most likely to buy your products, your services. How can you enter new markets? How can you use that data of define better options for yourself? You can insure against new types of risks and new ways. That is true. So you have alternative data, dynamic behavioral pricing. So this is what we say about smart home, smart health, about smart driving, all that stuff that is currently already in place, and how you can use that to develop unique insurance products, maybe for even new risk categories that you might uncover. And of course, add-on services, this is really like preventing rather than just sending over money from cash transfer. If there's a damage, it's really about how can you lower the risk, how you can make him feel more safe, more comfortable. So these are general strategies you can think of. I don't think they're revolutionary, but I think a good overview how you can use this. If we go a little step deeper about AI for customer interaction, so you have on the left hand, you see the typical scenario. So how is AI used there? It's about contextualized knowledge, about instant recommendation, of course, self-supervised automation. So what can you do by himself? How can you increase the knowledge you have in your CRM about, which other data from third-party sources can you use to really capture the requirements of the moment of the customers? How is he feeling? What insights do you have? So what recommendations can you use for empathy? And you can use those tools as unsupervised learning, so they can sit beside a real agent and listen to him and learn from him. And you can use it, of course, for contract and claim closing automation, so really end-to-end process automation that is there. On the right, what I've mentioned about that, it's if you take the look at it for a customer interaction, it's really about process automation in almost every area. It's about really identification of customer requirements in the moment that he needs it. And of course, it's about individualized mass communication. So if there is a damage like a hailstorm or whatever, you can still have a very, very individualized mass communication. What you can't handle with normal agents, you can use with an AI who recognizes the person with his requirements at the moment. So I think there's already live some use cases. I think they're really just tapping on the surface right now, what is possible. Get into it, make yourself aware what is happening, what will be happening. And these will be, of course, some points where you have to say, how does this interfere with, the normal underwriting process, with the claims process, what it will change in your balance sheet. So you have to take a look at it and see what it can do. Health, I think there are really endless opportunities for AI. It's like I said on the right side, AI and machine learning will have an impact in nearly every scenario thinkable in health. It's really about picture analysis, disease recognition, where AI currently is already better than trained doctors, who've made specialized in this field for over 20 years. And still, for example, for cancer recognition, AI and machine learning can do this job right now even better than those really, really high specialized people. You have IoT device health supportive fitness, so you get a training plan, and they can monitor you when you're doing the exercises. They can correct you if you're doing something wrong. So it's really about getting back to health. Is already possible to support that with AI. Doctor as an app, sure. Genomic screening and health plan development, yes, sure. What else would you do if that is possible? Genomic screening is already doable. It's not a standard. It will come. It would be stupid not to use it on the in long term. So yes, health screening from electronic records. Maybe even in Germany we get that done. That we have something like an electronic records platform for our health past, and we have been working there. So this, of course, makes absolutely sense to detect maybe warning signs of what might happen to a patient. So yes, we will come to this. It may take a while, but of course we will use it. You can also use it as a work monitoring platform. So if you're thinking about a company itself, to detect diseases within your workforce or to prevent them from a burnout, stuff like this. So this is really where you can work within a company, or if you think about global scaling disease control, which is right now a big issue, how you can detect scaling diseases right now, like COVID-19. How can you prevent that from spreading across the world? It's of course a big topic right now, and it is most likely that we're trying to prevent those with artificial intelligence in the future. Different claims experience, yes. This is what I said. It's about being faster and being more secure. So it's really about improving the service. It's about real-time interaction. It's about making it easy for the customer to send in the claims with pictures, video, mail, data. How can you reduce, act upon this, and how can you be really, really, really fast? Because in this moment of truth, has to be more secure also. It's about reducing fraud. It's about interaction, pictures, video with the same stuff. and of course recognizing relations between the two parties that might have reported damage. So how is that going to change? And I would take this car accident example as a look into the future, how that is changed, because if you have read the news, I'm sure you did, then you've heard that Tesla is thinking about creating a major insurance company, because it already has done that in California last year. The reason why he wants to do this is because he said, I have more data. And you see the evidence on the right, where you say, if you start from the bottom, you say there's one accident per, let's say, 480,000 miles in the US in general. With a Tesla, there's an accident only per 1.56 miles. If it doesn't have turned down the safety features. So that is saying Tesla drivers are more carefully, maybe they're more proud of it, they're using it, so but still the fact is it's 3 times less likely for them to get into an accident somehow if you're driving a Tesla. So that is something where he says that is a big point. The really big point he's making is about that he's saying if you're driving with autopilot, and yes, we know it's only doing mostly times on the big highways, so it's not easy to get into an accident there, but still the truth is if the Tesla is in autopilot mode, there's an accident per 1.53 million miles. So this is of course almost a tenth of the normal US in general. And why is he so sure about it? That is because the Tesla, if you have taken a look at it, and I've just taken Tesla as an example because they are very open about the cameras and the distance and the processing power they have. They are using all other car manufacturers I've taken a look at just said they have it, but they didn't say why they're going to do it. But I mean, they have really advanced sensor coverage. It's about 8 surrounding cameras with 250 meter range, 12 ultrasonic sensors, and a forward-facing radar with increased processing power, and of course transmitting it all to the Tesla hometown. It's really a driving computer, and so this is why you get all the data that you can think of. So changing work environments. If you're thinking about that Tesla for a little bit in the moment, then how it's going to change your work environment as an actor right now. If you think about it at the moment, it's really about that you have an internal focus. You have to think about unstructured data, structured data. You have to think about data quality, spreadsheet data management, dispersed data, parameter management. You have 80% is data wrangling and collaboration. And you have to cope with different data silos and how you can manage the data lineage. And all that to fulfill at least finance reporting and regulatory reporting requirements, of course, with underwriting and all that stuff. So it's really, different tasks, very complicated tasks to act upon, but it's really internal focused. In the future, you still have to do those work. I'm afraid it won't go away. So how you can support product development, underwriting, finance reporting, and of course, train the management board. But I do believe we will have another task, and that is much, much more important. It's really about having the external focus. So you have to deal with external stakeholders. You have to evaluate with which partners you have to work. Of course, modeling and validation is one of your key tasks, because if you are using AI and ML, who else but you can control it and make sure that it is working in the favor of your companies and, of course, fulfilling the regulatory requirements. You have to take care of the technology roadmap. At least you have to approve it and work with it to see whether it goes in the right direction. You have to cope with third-party data, and of course, it will be the customer protection will be one of your tasks going on in the future. So I think that really your work environment will be even more interesting, will become more outward focused, and it will be, I think, really, really interesting, but of course, a little bit demanding. So to do all of this, fulfilling all your internal requirements and the external requirements, I think data management is a big issue. I think we as Systemorph could help you with that. And that's just one slide. It's really about our data management platform that we're just building out. Will become live first quarter of 21. It is cloud first based, optimized for modern data science. So that's what you all need, scalable without limits. And of course, you can integrate all the AI and machine learning capabilities that you would need. That is really what we believe could help you to cope with all the data requirements that we have. You want to know more about it, and we're of course happy to talk to you. But you have the contact details at the end of the presentation that we're close heading to. So having said this, I think it's going to be a really interesting work within the insurance. And I have to say, if everything else fails, there will be a lot of opportunities outside of the insurance industry, as I believe that many other companies are in need of good mathematicians of the actuarial profession. And as Elon Musk stated there, he's looking for high energy actuaries, and he asks you to please join Tesla. So I think that is a pretty good opportunity for you to go into a different area if you're interested in it. So you don't have to be afraid that you're not used in the future anymore, but it may be in different positions than right now. So thank you very much for your attention. My name is Andreas Grigol. Here is the Twitter handle. You can use it and photograph it. So if you want to join me, I would love to receive some feedback, some comments. You can leave it also here on the platform from ActiveView. So happy to have a conversation with you about what you think, what this presentation is, and otherwise you can contact me at Systemorph. So thank you very much for your attention, and I hope you enjoy it. The next presentation of the AOC in the coming time. So thanks and bye.